Yes everybody, welcome back to the LexiiYT YouTube channel. Hope we're all good, and as you can tell by the title, today is slightly different to the usual video. Just wanted to try and bring some variety to the channel. But yes, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you my top 5 tips for those who want to start running, that are interested in running, or are already running. Now before I go into these points, I think it goes without saying, to be fair, I'm not a professional. This isn't professional advice. You know, I'm actually a below average marathon runner, and I'm very new to running myself when you look at the grand scheme of things. I have been running for about 3 years, but most of that was on and off. But I've been really taking it seriously for about 5 months, so although my experience isn't really there, I feel like the points that I'm going to make would probably have been important for me to start my journey, and probably something that I wish I knew when I started. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. I also want to say I'm going to try my absolute best to rank these from 5 being the least important to 1 being the most important. I mean, they're all as important as each other, so. Right, so for tip number 5, that is stretching. That's before and after you run. I know it's number 5, but this is very important, especially for me, and it has been a massive part of my new running journey, just because a lot of the time I used to get shin splints, and my recovery used to take me about 3 or 4 days to recover off a run. But yeah, since I've actually introduced stretching, it has made my recovery so much quicker, and especially when you're going out for like a long run, stretching beforehand sort of loosens up your joints, your legs feel ready to go, you feel fresh, because there's been plenty of times where I've headed out the door, not done any stretching, not done any sort of warm-up, and the first few kilometers have been rough. Like, my legs just feel completely stiff, and the form is just terrible. Whereas if you warm up beforehand, do stretching, and all that good stuff, I think it really does make you more likely to run at your potential, really. And yeah, like I did say before, the injury prevention is just massive. So yeah, the key points from stretching helps you prepare yourself a lot better, improves your form, you've got less chance of being injured, and your recovery is just going to be much quicker. Right, and so for tip number 4, again, I will always say that it's important, but this is one that I am trying my best at because it's something that I still lack, and that's having a good night's sleep before you run, because my god, that is like, I think a lot of people sort of neglect that, and I definitely have, and I'm still trying to work on it, but my god, a good night's sleep before a run makes a crazy difference. It's like the other week, I can't remember what week or what episode it was, but I had a bit of a dodgy sleep beforehand. I think the run was about 7k, but literally throughout the whole 7k, I was on the ropes. I just didn't feel great at all. Running without a good sleep is sort of similar to running once you've hit the wall. Like, it's just one of the worst feelings. Like, you just can't focus, your breathing's messed up, your form's messed up, you lack a bit of interest, and again, because you're tired and you're not really focusing on your form, there is definitely a bigger chance of being injured as well. Like, yeah, there has been a couple of times where I've just had like a really crap sleep beforehand, and like my head's all fuzzy, and then I'm realising, okay, right, my breathing's not in place because my form's terrible. I've tripped up a few times. And then just resting as well, so like that sort of includes for not overtraining. It's just basically sort of knowing what your body can handle, which, to be fair, I think is a thing that probably will take a bit of time. So like, I was on a novice plan before where I was training for this Manchester marathon, and I could handle it pretty well, and I'm onto the intermediate stage now, and I'm still handling it pretty well. But then there's a few times where I'm like, I want to try and do some more, and like today I was sort of like thinking about going swimming, but yesterday I did a double session and I've trained quite a bit this week, so it's just sort of just sitting back and then just thinking, right, I know I want to go swimming, but I don't think my body can handle it. Yeah, it's just sort of making sure you rest well, and yeah, in terms of performance, making sure you sleep well the night before, because you will feel it very much so if you don't. Right then, so for tip number 3, another important one, arguably the most important one, but it's just like, yeah, these top 3 are really, they could go either way for me. So for number 3, it's patience and consistency. Now I know they can be sort of split out in their own points, but I feel like it's important to merge them both together. So yeah, what I mean by patience in terms of running is mainly to do with progress. Running is like, I feel like it's elevated so much recently, like it's probably the biggest it's ever been, and you're seeing a lot of people on social media sort of doing running and sort of posting their results, and it's very easy. I've done it loads of times, to be fair, sort of seeing my stats for my run and then seeing a stat from another person's run, I thought, my god, I'm not progressing. But then you got to sort of think, you don't know their background. And one thing I've definitely learned in running as well is, yeah, not to just always expect that you're going to improve in the next run. Say you might do one run that's gone really well, and then the next run it's not as good, and you might not see yourself do very well in terms of progress. So that's why it's very important just to be patient, stick to the plan, and yeah, your goals will definitely be achievable. It might not be easy, and this is where consistency comes in. Consistency is massive. When I was training for the 10k and also my triathlons, I used to do about 1 run a week, and then when I come back to the run again the next week after, I'm like, bloody hell, I'm pantsing here, like I'm really struggling. But again, that's just because a lack of consistency. I think cardio for me as well, not so much swimming, but mainly running. So yeah, for an example, swimming, I could be really consistent with swimming and then take about 6 months off, have a really bad first session, but then get into the swing of things in the second session. Whereas running, I'd probably say it's the hardest cardio related sport. I mean, I might be wrong, to be fair, but it's really hard to come back to if you've had a decent amount of time off. So making sure you stay consistent, always make sure that you don't fall off. You can easily just like fall off and lose all your progress, and I find with consistency, if you're very consistent, you can still definitely enjoy yourself as well. So like, say if you do 3 or 4 runs a week and you've got, I don't know, you're going on the lash with a couple of your mates, you don't feel guilty then because you know that you're still consistent and it's just one day of the week. It's something very occasional. But yeah, consistency and patience. Just stick to your plan. Don't get too annoyed about your stats and your progress because you will see it gradually build up. Yeah, it's just all about remaining focused, keeping to your plan, and yeah, trust me, you'll see the benefits. Like I say, running does take time, which can be unmotivating, but yeah, it's just all about just being patient, and yeah, trust me, you'll definitely achieve what you want to achieve. Right then, so for number 2, it's a real toss-up between 1 and 2 because these have been really, really important, especially for me to keep on going, and that is providing variety to your running. And what I mean by that is not running the same. This point, oh my god, this point is basically what made me fall in love with running pretty much. Because what I always used to do, especially when I was training for the 10k, I was doing the 1 run a week and I'd always run it the exact same. Running 5k, trying to get as best of a time as I can each and every time. And that is like the worst decision, just because you get bored, especially if you're doing the same route. I always used to do the same route as well. Running just becomes really, really boring, and the way I was running rapid, as hard as I can, 10 out of 10 each time, so you've got more chance of being injured, and generally speaking, you're just not going to get fitter. So at the minute, I'm doing 2 speed sessions a week, 1 shorter easy run and then 1 long easy run. So yeah, for this week, for example, I did a 60-minute easy run on Monday, I did high effort / interval work on Tuesday, then I did a tempo run on Thursday, and then tomorrow I've actually got my long easy run, and it just provides such variety. To me personally, it just makes me enjoy running a lot more. And again, you just get to see yourself progress even more doing these different varieties, because for example, if you're just doing 5k all the time, you don't know if you can actually go further than that. Whereas these long runs, etc., like I'm running for 2 hours and I'm like, I can do half a marathon here. Like, it's just like, it's wild, but it definitely makes you fitter as well, adding variety. And as well, if you've got a banging playlist on, oh man, you're on a long easy run and you actually get into a comfortable zone, you get this thing called the runner's high, and oh my god, I think that's probably the thing that actually really motivates me to keep on running. Just, there's no better feeling than a runner's high. It's like, if you're a runner, you understand. So yeah, tip number 2, provide variety. Do not run the same every session. It is a terrible idea. Yeah, running different make you actually realise that you're actually capable of doing more than what you think you are capable of doing. It gets you way fitter, prevents your injury, and for me personally, it's just 1,000 times more enjoyable. Right then, so we move on to tip number 1, and I think this tip really goes without saying, but it's just to enjoy your running, enjoy your journey. For me personally, everything that I've listed is sort of what I've been following, and it is what has made me fall in love with running, really. And yeah, this could be very, very different to other people, but for me, it's just going out there, sticking to my plan, which I'm really enjoying as well. If any of you are actually curious about what plan I'm actually using, it's the Adidas Manchester Marathon 2023 training plan, which is actually on their website. What motivates me to keep on going and what makes me enjoy it, going out there, whacking a banging playlist on, and then just going for it. But it's just like the feeling, how I feel afterwards. I always just feel really good after a run. And then of course, like I've mentioned, the runner's high is just an undefeated feeling. It's just, I chase it. I could probably count on one hand how many times I've been like, oh, I can't be bothered to go out for a run today, or like I don't want to do it, or I'm not enjoying it, or I want to stop running completely. Well, to be fair, I don't think it's ever got to that stage, but definitely been a time when I haven't felt like, oh, I don't know if I want to go for a run today, which was when I was hungover in one of the weeks, and I think it was like a 2 hour and 20 minute run. But yeah, that wasn't fun. But yeah, it's just to ultimately enjoy your running. This can be achieved in many different ways, whether it's just whacking on a playlist, running by yourself, doing loads of park runs, or getting along with your mates and going out for a run. There's many different ways. It's very, very different for many people, but I think ultimately running shouldn't become something that you think you need to do. That's just my opinion anyway. It's going to sound really cringy, but it feels more like a privilege. So yeah, them are my top 5 running tips that I've been following pretty much since the start of my journey. But yeah, hopefully that was useful. I know I've been blabbering on for a good while. And also, if there's anything specific as well you want to see on the channel, we'd greatly appreciate it if you can leave it in the comments. I think next week I might be going back to doing another documenting of the previous week of training for the marathon, just because this week was the same as last week, so I didn't bother. But next week is going to be different, so yeah, if there's any more video ideas that you would like to see, just let me know and I'll try my best to get around to it. So yeah, that is it for today. Hopefully it helped. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.